the flame on max. I'ma keep it going, that ain't nothing that. Gotta keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going, that ain't nothing that. Going, that ain't. Gotta keep the flame on, gotta keep the flame on, gotta keep the flame, keep the flame, keep the flame on.
Hello and welcome to the University of Worcester Arena, where the London Lions are taking on the Cheshire Phoenix for a place in the semi-finals of the British Basketball League playoffs. The Lions with a 7-point lead after the first leg on aggregate. Daniel Ratledge and Ant Rowe with you for tonight's game. And Ant, that was a tremendously well-played game. Lions got up early, Knicks came right back. Lions made a couple of shots down the stretch to separate the two teams by those 7 points.
It was a great game of basketball, Dan, and it was British basketball playoff competitiveness as well. The intensity level was on level 10, and both teams really went after each other. I think particularly this wasn't a 7-point game. You know, you look at the scoreboard here, 73-66, but there was very, very little in it. And some big plays down the stretch there from Derek Williams to hit the final three there of the game to extend this lead. But this could have very easily been a Cheshire Phoenix win.
Well, it certainly could. And earlier I managed to speak to both coaches to see what they thought about today's game. Well, Vince, you obviously have the 7-point lead on aggregate, but I assume you come in here thinking it's 0 and just about winning these 40 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we targeted seven games from when we were a couple of games out from the end of the season. We just want to win every game, and that's our intention, to go out there and win every single game we play. That doesn't change. I mean, we had a typical BBL first leg against the Phoenix, and this is exactly where it's poised at. So for us, it's about winning the game to get through.
Well, as a neutral watching, it was a fantastic game to enjoy it, and your guys hit a couple of big shots down the stretch, which was the difference in the game.
Yeah, and that's what we do, to be fair. I mean, what we don't do is turn the ball over 17 times, leading to 23 Cheshire points, and I think that's what we did the other day. So we have to take that away from our game. If we can do that, then maybe that keeps them a little bit further away from us. But no, we like to run, we like to push the ball, we like to shoot the shot. If we can score in that first 4 or 5 seconds, we will do. And if not, we'll move the ball around until we find someone who can. And we have a number of guys who can do that. So we just want to keep on playing. That's number one, and play our best basketball.
And their backcourt is a pretty dangerous combo, particularly late in games. You want to make sure that they don't have any shot at it at the end.
Most definitely. We've seen them do that against us. We've seen them do that against Leicester. We don't want that at all.
Good luck in the game, Vince.
Thank you, Daniel.
Well, Ben, 7 points between the two teams on aggregate. How do you attack the game? Do you think about that? Is that something you're going to wait till the end of the game to worry about, see where you are?
No, we've got to start aggressively. A few years ago, you'll remember when we turned around a bigger deficit against London. We turned it around in the first 5 minutes. It's got to be the same again. I'm not expecting us to be up by 7 at the end of the first quarter, but we've got to be aggressive early on.
And the way you played in that first leg, I mean, but for them making a couple of shots in the last minute, you could have easily won that game. So the 7 points can go and come pretty quickly.
Yeah, I said it at the end of the last game, we were down 17 in this leg so far. So to be down 7 now is not a bad position. Obviously, the last sort of sequence of plays up in Newcastle wasn't great. Obviously, I was missing a couple of free throws, and then them hitting that big dagger free was a big shot. But we're confident that if we do what we're supposed to, if we play the way we were on Monday and add a little bit more, then there's no reason why we can't turn this one around.
And at the other end of the floor, a lot of 3-point threats there. You've got to try and keep them off that line.
Yeah, we've got to be aggressive. We've got to be aggressive at the top of the 3-point line as well. We've got to make sure we start early, deny the ball to the guys that want to shoot, because when they've got it in their hands, they're very hard to stop. So limit their touches as much as we can. It's going to be difficult, but if we all lock in and we buy into what we're doing, then there's no reason why we can't.
Well, good luck in the game.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Well, he referenced that tremendous comeback in the Cup a few years ago, one of the greatest second leg comebacks, and that was in the Copper Box. It wasn't on a neutral venue. They beat London in their own building to get through to the Cup final. Let's have a look at the team lineups for today, and a multitude of riches as ever for the London Lions. I thought Okoro did really well for them in the first leg as well.
Yeah, and he's shown great promise in recent weeks. He's just a big body down there, causing all sorts of problems. But I felt like Justin Robinson was really aggressive, and he looked for his own shots, but it was also to get everyone else involved. And then, of course, Derek Williams, MVP candidate, was absolutely formidable down the stretch there, as was DeAndre Liggins.
And if we take a look at the Phoenix lineup, they're going to need to be at their very best today, but they certainly have players capable of scoring. We talked about the backcourt. Obviously, Matthew Bryan and Manning always gets up for the Lions, and the big fella Jimbo can certainly score in the middle.
You called this in game one, Dan, and Cheshire Phoenix are a team, if they are close within the fourth quarter, you fancy them to win the basketball game. You know, Kyron Ross, Mike McCall, Matthew Bryan and Manning, all individuals that there's no fear. There's no fear there, and they're ready to make a big play. And I thought Kyle Carey was excellent as well in game one, just very active, causing turnovers in the London Lions camp.
Well, the two teams out on court were only a few moments away from the start of this ball game. But before we get underway, well, obviously saddened following the tragic loss of Dijon Alan Jordan, who represented both the Cheshire Phoenix and the London Lions. And there are many people in this arena here tonight who were close friends with Dijon. I'm sure many watching at home as well will know and remember him both as a man and as a player. He's a much-loved member of both the Knicks and the Lions, as well as the wider basketball community in this country. He's forever in our hearts and thoughts, and we're sending all our love and prayers to his family and friends back home. And on behalf of the players, officials, and everybody with the BBL, we will now have 24 seconds of applause to remember him. Well, it's not easy to transition from that into a sporting game, but we will do so, and there is a lot riding on this. A place in the semi-finals for either the London Lions or the Cheshire Phoenix up for grabs. Well, two teams now making their way out onto court ahead of the opening tip. And we've seen in recent weeks the Lions continuing the good work against racism within their community, and the teams taking the knee as we get set for this ball game. Lions with the lead by 7, but the Knicks showed 2 nights ago that they have the potential to cause the upset here. That was not straight. We'll try that one again. And it is the Lions who get the opening possession. Liggins. Around to Dirk Williams, hit a big 3 to end that game. Parker, whose 4-point play gave his team a psychological edge in the last minute.
Good start there from Lions. Good activity on the offense. We're patient, and Orlando Parker, instead of shooting a contested 3 there, he elects to drive left and makes an aggressive move to the basket and gets fouled.
First point on the board, and London looking to play some full court pressure, as they can do very effectively, this time just to slow their opponents down. Here's Carey. Inside to Low. Looking to back down. Shot clock getting low. Hayes has to fire up to 3. And, well, Liggins dropped it to Ross, but it didn't hit the ring, so it's a shot clock violation.
Well, they've looked to establish Jimbo low down low, and potentially, well, possibly he got the ball a little bit too late, but he was a guy that really couldn't establish himself in game 1 because he was in foul trouble, so he was in and out, didn't really have much rhythm. So they'll be looking for him to be more productive this evening.
Shot clock issue there. It was on 0, which is why referee Williams called a halt to play. We're going to just go back to the end and do the 24 again.
Couple of redos here for the refs here. A little jump ball redo and a shot clock. Not that I can blame the referee for the shot clock, but a little bit of start stoppiness to this huge fixture so far.
Well, plenty of experience in the refereeing crew on this game, that's for sure. Here's Robinson at the top for 3, and he knocks down his first shot of the game.
That's exactly what Justin Robinson did in game 1. He was quite aggressive and looked for his own shot early on in that game, and he's done the same right there and knocked down a 3.
Carey to McCall. Almost loses it. Back into Lowell. Off the glass, not quite. Liggins trying to thread the needle, but it came off a boot and will be a Lions ball.
Well, the play didn't come off, but it's good energy from the London Lions so far. Orlando Parker was running the floor, and Liggins tried to reward him there, slotting that ball through.
Liggins with room for 3, and you can't leave him wide open.
Such a good pass from Justin Robinson. Everyone's focused on that side of the floor because the screen action's going on there, and defender loses Liggins, who is wide open there, the other side of the court, and a really good pass where Liggins is able to step into that one, and easy release for him.
Well, Ben Thomas with a very early timeout in this ball game. Just 94 seconds have elapsed, and he's pulled his team back in because he's seen the Lions hit 2 threes, and everybody knows it. The Lions are the best three-point shooting team in the league. They take more than anybody else. They make more than anybody else. And if you give them ones that wide open, you might as well put the points on the board.
Yeah, and Phoenix have to learn from their mistakes. You cannot afford to have mental lapses against this London Lions team, because they will hit open shots, and before you know it, the game's wide open. And this is what happened in game 1. They were down big at the start of the game, and they had to fight, and they had to claw their way back into it. But had they been a bit more mentally in the game at the start, who's to say that they wouldn't have won that first game by 7?
Well, they trailed in that first half by as many as 17. They are 14 down here on the aggregate. Again, Lions with this little zone defense just to make it difficult to get it over. Hayes getting to the basket, and the Knicks get their first points of the game.
Big play, and that sometimes settles things down. You just want to get that off the 0, that points knocks them on the board to get things going.
Robinson, great shot.
Oh, he's unplayable when he's like this, and Robinson's in the mood. He's been aggressive for this whole series so far, and he's on 5 points personal already.
Hayes over to McCall. Has to double clutch because Williams had a hand right in front of him. Here's Dirk going the other way, get it all the way to the basket, and tipped home by Orlando Parker.
Great individual defense there by Dirk Williams, and again, if you're active when guys are attacking the rim, you can get those easy tap-ins, and Orlando Parker did on that occasion.
Ross. Ball moves on to Hayes, steps into the three. Falls a long way short. And he commits the foul.
Phoenix in early struggles offensively, although that was a good offense. They moved the basketball and got Jalen Hayes stepping into a three, which is a good shot. Just wasn't able to knock it down, and here they are with an early deficit, 11-2. They've got to figure a way to get stops.
Matt Brown manning into the game alongside Farrah Gordon for Cheshire. Liggins. Robinson. Again looking to drive hard to the glass, and the foul is there. He'll shoot two.
Well, there wasn't really a whole lot going on with the London Lions offense there. The ball kind of stuck on that side of the floor. The pick and roll wasn't really effective, but what they do have is they have Justin Robinson, a former MVP. Give the ball to him with 10 seconds left in the shot clock, and he creates for himself and gives himself an opportunity to increase this lead by 2 more points.
First 3 fouls of the game against the Knicks, 2 of them on Hayes. That one was on Lowell.
This is almost part and parcel of the first game one. I mean, Robinson had 10 points in the first quarter, game one, and he's not far off that amount already. 7 points personal.
Ross. Gordon. Over to McCall. Kicked out. Gordon probably needed to shoot that. They're going to run out of time.
Well, they're trying to establish Jimbo roll, but it's either a late post entry pass into and down low, or on that occasion, Anna Hodges does a good job to deflect the ball away from him.
Liggins to Parker for 3. Back iron. Ross brings it back the other way. Ross steps back. Long 2, just towed the line.
Oh, that's what you can get from Kyron Ross. He's an electrifying basketball player. He can score the ball in a variety of ways.
Parker steps into the 3. Alihontic keeps it alive for London. Dirk Williams shooting over Lowell. Knicks come away with it. Trying to get it to Lowell in the post. Williams fighting. Gordon shoots the 3. Dirk Williams with the rebound. Kicked out ahead to Parker. Good steal from Ross, but he loses the ball out of bounds.
Frustrating there for Kyron Ross, who does a really good job of intercepting that basketball. So quick and low center of gravity there. Does the ball just go off his leg there? He was in a difficult position there with 2 Lions defenders on the baseline, sideline.
Parker driving hard, foul called.
Wow, London Lions doing a good job, and Parker, again, aggressive move towards the rim and gets the defenders to commit the foul.
Well, we talk all the time about what great three-point shooting team, and they are, but they've shown here today that a willingness to really aggressively go at the basket. You've seen Robinson do it, Parker do it. Williams, of course, is always very good attacking. So too Liggins.
Well, it gives them the opportunity to put points on the board from the free throw line, but also, you know, Cheshire Phoenix, this isn't the deepest team in the league. They've got a very, very good 7, 8-man rotation, but again, when foul trouble crops up, you've got to sit guys, and they're not featured in games, which again strengthens the position of the London Lions, who have a very deep bench.
Well, the 4 fouls in the game have all been against Cheshire. Well, there's the first one on the Lions.
That occasion was a good post-entry pass, and Jimbolo faces off, and this time gets the Lions to commit the foul.
Vince McCauley with the timeout here, midway through the opening quarter. His team up 11. Must have seen something he wants to tweak.
Well, maybe they were aiming for a clean sheet of no fouls, and he wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Orlando Park has picked up the first one with over 5 minutes played. But I think he's got to be happy with the start of this ball game, because not only has his team scored the ball, but they've also found ways to get to the free throw line.
You have to take that. That's Matthew coming down the middle. This guard needs to be
Well, he
leaked.
seems to be drawing up Cheshire's play for them in that timeout.
Get in front of Matt.
See if he's got it right, will be the question. Well, the London Lions are number 2 in the league in terms of fouls committed, just behind Plymouth. Cheshire normally last in the league in fouls committed. They only average 14 per game, and they've got 4 early on here. Brian Manning under pressure, and that will be 2 free throws.
Good patience and move there from Brian Manning, and that's what you're going to need to do now. If you've got Lullen, Brian Manning on the court at the same time, you've got to take advantage of establishing some sort of inside presence and taking high percentage shots in and around the rim, and just trust that the big guys are going to finish for you.
To be fair, he's always been one of those players that's prepared to wait it out, NBA, isn't he? In that low post, he'll likes a pump fake, likes a pass fake. He just tries to bite you into a foul.
Yeah, he does, but in that same take, he has got that. He's a good 6'9", good basketball body, and he's strong in there as well, so he can do that. And that's not what you want from him in that position there. Fouling in that position, and again, it's another foul for him, but more importantly, it takes him in the bonus, and all fouls from here now will send the London Lions back to the free throw line for potentially some more points.
Well, it's one of those that it doesn't really impact on the play that much. He could almost be left, and Dirk hasn't really affected Dirk too much, but there is contact in there. Well, there's a long discussion between the man called for the foul and the man who called the foul. But the result is Dirk Williams stretching the Lions' lead to 13. Ross gets into the lane. Carey to the spin. Dumps off to Low. Brian Manning drives in, not quite, but he will shoot 2 as he takes the foul. Okoro, the offender.
Well, the spacing wasn't brilliant, Dan, but what they did do a really good job of is sharing the basketball. If there wasn't a good shot on there, no one was forcing it. They were looking for a better shot, and they've got something from it. So, promising offense there from them, but. Again, the middle looks very, very compact and very packed in there, and you've got Okoro in there, 7-footer challenging shots.
Well, on that occasion, if he just keeps his arm up late in the shot clock, Brian Manning doesn't have long to work there. Instead, he commits the foul, and Cheshire get 2 points on the board. Points have been hard to come by in the opening 6 minutes for the Phoenix. Robinson, great pass to Liggins for 2.
That's such a good look from Justin Robinson, and good movement as well from Liggins on the baseline. sort of hid behind the defenders there. They lost him, and he got an open layup.
Manning going to take the three, and he's going to hit.
Matthew Bryant Manning heating up now, and that's what you'd want if you're a Phoenix fan. You'd want someone like him to get in the mood here.
Williams going the long way round, scooping it up, but doesn't drop. He's still on the floor, so it's 5-on-4 for a moment. Ross getting into the lane. Defense scrambling as they adjust. They've done a decent job of it. On to Carey, round to Ross. Step back three. It's tough to shoot over Liggins. It's very long.
Incredible recovery there from the lines. Justin was on the floor. Justin Robinson was on the floor, and good rotation from Phoenix, yet no one had an open shot.
It's Parker for three, and he knocks down another one. It's his first of the game. Brian Manning, the double team comes, he fights his way through it, and he wants a whistle that isn't coming his way, and he's on the floor as well trying to recover. Oh, stolen away by Carey, and Brian Manning gets up and dunks it in.
Kyle Carey was excellent in game one at this. The London Lions didn't play a perfect game. They had 17 turnovers, but Kyle Carey was a big reason for that, and Cheshire Phoenix had 23 points from turnovers in game one.
Cut, and Liggins in off the glass.
Again, Liggins, gotta locate him, and again, see both, see man, see ball, and Liggins takes advantage of it.
Well, they're all having a little nibble at him. Gets to the hook, tough shot.
Really difficult there yet to keep that ball nice and high and away from the guards, and then also shoot over Okoro.
Parker. Robinson. Thrown back to Liggins. Shot clock at 5. Robinson lets fly. Good rebound from Lull with Okoro on his back. Ross at the elbow. Brian Manning tips it down. Oh, a travelling violation call. Well, I'd like to see that again. You don't see those ones very often.
Well, the referee had a really good look at it too. He was right there, so
let's have a look here. He's picked the ball up. Oh, it is. Yeah, he's running along there without bouncing the ball.
Really good call, and Liggins is like, they don't call that in the NBA.
They don't call that in the NBA. You get at least another 2. There's Carey. To Brian Manning, pump fake, and again you see he's always got a great pump fake, and he can finish in any way. Doesn't matter where he's facing, he's always able to find the basket.
Kyle Carey again started off his penetration, and Matthew Brian Manning was just too big and skilled down there.
Here's Kevin Ware for 3, and he's straight into the game, knocking down shots.
Well, he's never shy to shoot the ball, and that's essentially what he's hired to do, is to come off the bench, provide energy, and make shots.
They go to NBA again. The hook this time. Here's Ware. Looks back at the clock. Sees the shot clock is off, so he's going to run it down to the buzzer here. Ware penetrates in, just bobbles for him. Here's Williams in the corner. Oh my! Doug Williams, what a shot on the buzzer.
Well, if you haven't learned from game one, is when the shot clock's winding down, if you're guarding Doug Williams, do not concern yourself with anything else. Just hug him, because he will make a shot.
Well, a great finish to a very good first quarter for the London Lions. They doubled the Knicks up here, 30 points to 15 through the first 10 minutes, and Ben Thomas said he wanted his team to come out and be aggressive and to attack, and it's London who've done all of those things.
Yeah, it hasn't been the Phoenix who have been the aggressor. They actually look a little bit tentative. They haven't established themselves on defense, and London Lions have 30 points that first quarter, so that the scoreline alone doesn't tell you that the London Lions are getting whatever they want. They're getting good shots, and whenever they aren't getting the shots, they're finding a way to attack the rim and get to the free throw line. So a very, very efficient and well planned out performance from the Lions so far, and the Phoenix have to find a way here to establish themselves on the defensive end and get points.
Well, they were 17 down in the first leg. They are 22 down currently on the aggregate. And Brian Manning, really the key offensive player for the Knicks in the game so far with 9. We talk a lot about their prolific guards, their backcourt. It's really hard for those two when you've got Liggins in front of one of them and Williams in front of the other, because they're both tall, they're incredibly long, and suddenly those shots become much more difficult.
Yeah, in the half-court set, Dan, it is really difficult, but where at the Phoenix, if they can get stops and push the basketball, that's where Cara Ross and McCall are really dangerous, because it's a lot harder to locate them in transition, and that's where, it's a one-pass, shot for those guys. So it starts with the defensive end, and Phoenix have to figure out a way to get stops here, because they are so far from slowing down this London Lions team at the moment.
Brian Manning, again, veteran savvy, although he's come up hobbling. I think it's just an impact one. I think he'll be okay. He seems to move on to conversation with his team, so I think he's okay. Just a bit of knee on knee, maybe.
Kingsley Okoro's second foul is that. It's a factor there, because especially if Phoenix stays with this big lineup and Jimbo Lullen, Matthew Bryan Manning spinning around the rim, you'd want your 7-footer there contesting and challenging shots.
In some ways it was their small lineup, wasn't it, that got them back into the game in the first leg, pressuring the defense. But you're right, I mean, they're both very capable scorers inside. Here's the Lions captain firing up for 3 and getting his first points of the game.
Good introduction to the game by Ikenwin and Jules Dangakodu, who I thought was fantastic in the final 4 or 5 minutes of that game. Jules Dangakodu was fantastic at scoring the ball and facilitating for his teammates.
Yeah, just came in. It was only 4 minutes of the game, but the important ones. And here's NBA with the second 3.
Right, Matthew Bryan Manning, if he's producing, give the ball back to him. And what you want now is other players to follow suit. Sometimes when an individual's shooting the ball well, it's contagious.
Well, he's got twice as many points as the whole of the rest of his team combined. Alihodzic had to rearrange that one. Williams with a great steal, and he keeps it alive. And that will be an Knicks ball.
Oh, good hustle there from Ware and Jalen Hayes. Darren Williams, again, athletic play and a good catch from the ref there. Safety first, and credit to the ref there, the reactions. And
kept him upright.
The referee's been in the weight room this in the off-season. Strength, anticipation there. Guys in the league that can't catch Darren Williams.
Who's Lull at the top of the key? It rims out for him. Dangakodo first to it. Head on a swivel as he comes down court looking for options. Kevin Ware the first one. Ross dancing his way to the hole, dumps it off to Hayes. Nice pass, good finish.
Really good move there from Cara Ross to penetrate, and he penetrates and Jalen Hayes cuts to the basket like he did. They can get some easy points there, and it all stems from the stop. They've got to get stops here.
He's going to try for another three, and he's going to hit it.
Oh, wow. Big play there, Joe McKinwin. 2 big threes for him now, 6 points personal.
Lobbed quickly, but Lowe wasn't quite ready for it.
Substitution for Phoenix.
I think it was the right idea, but his pass had a bit too much on it, or he was just a bit late reacting.
Yeah, the pass looked a little bit wayward for me. That high-low could be a devastating combo between those two as well.
Good hands, Kyle Carey to steal it away. McCall drives in. Carey takes the three.
Good defensive possession there from the London Lions. There wasn't a whole lot of movement there from the Phoenix, but Lions just look well structured there and just big.
Hand check foul. That's going to be his third.
When Jalen Hayes plays well, this Phoenix team are even better, and you know, Phoenix fans will want to talk about him being in the MVP candidate list as well. But you've got to be consistently good every single game, and Jalen Hayes has that tendency to sometimes not be there.
Here's Robinson for three, and he knocks it down. London Lions with their 8th three in 12 attempts.
Speaking about a guy who knows what it takes to be an MVP. Sensational so far in this game.
Deju driving in, gets the shot away, but just ran into a bit of trouble. Oh, he might steal it back here. He's kept it in bounds. Great play from Dizzy Lufadeju. And Brian Manning turns it into points.
Wow, regardless of how many times he does it, it's such an effective fake there, and Stanley of away and created himself an easy finish.
15 now for him. Back out to Ware. Fakes the three, drives in. Robinson. Here's Joe Ickenwin again. His third three of the quarter.
Perfect from beyond the line. 9 points personal.
Oh, it's thrown away. Kevin Ware with the steal. Ware back to Walker, and he stuffs it down, and Ben Thomas has seen enough of this. He needs another timeout. His team trail by 21.
Oh, it's off the turnover there. Mike McCall Jr. Uncharacteristic turnover in there, and when you've got players as quick as Kevin Ware and big guys running the floor, 6'10" Shane Walker results in a dunk.
Well, this is the game right here, isn't it? These 5.5 minutes, Cheshire have to eat into this. They cannot go into the locker room 20 points down in the game, nearly 30 points down in the tie. They have to win these last 5.5 minutes and give them something to build on in the second half.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it. I just don't see the same level as intensity, which is strange, because you'd feel like the Phoenix belief would be higher than it was, on Monday evening before game one. But they haven't taken the confidence from that remarkable performance a few evenings ago, and they just don't look as good defensively. Cole Carey is the only one for me that's playing with any level of intensity like the playoff basketball we saw on Monday evening. So. And I think it's difficult because you're getting so much production from Matthew Bryan and Manning. He's got 15 points on 5 for 7 shooting, so he's being very efficient. But what that does do is sometimes it ices out your McCalls and your Karen Rosses. They aren't able to get into their type of flow, and as a result, you got Karen Ross on 2 points, and Mike McCall are currently on 0.
Well, McCall's only shot the ball once. He hasn't had too many looks. Here's a shot for him, but it bobbles out. Again, that's the length of London taking the shots away from the Knicks backcourt here in the first half. Just not even letting them get a look. Walker's going to fire up the three, and of course if London are going to shoot like this the whole ball game, you've got no chance. Doesn't matter who you are.
It's just a true statement, Dan, and you can just see the confidence growing this London Lions team, and defensively too, they're playing even more with that fire in their bellies.
Well, London have made 10 3-pointers in 15 minutes. They have only made 5 2-pointers. They're 10 of 14, 10 of 14 from 3-point range, and 5 of 9 from 2. 7 of 8 from the line. Might as well just stand on the 3-point line and keep shooting it. The way things are going. Liggins is going to attack inside. Here's Walker. Thought that one was going up from Shane Walker. Kevin Ware will take the three though, and that will go in. 11 threes. Look for Deju. Rebound Ward Hibbert. Cross court to Ware. They're all shooting them. Wow, a rare miss.
Goodness me. No conscience from behind the line, and they've no reason to have any conscience too, because pretty much everything they've shot, it's been bottom of the net.
Well, the bench for London is 6 for 7 from the 3-point line. That's the bench. There's Gordon for 3. Liggins looking to attack, offensive foul for the push-off.
Cole Carey again, an excellent defensive play. Just the foot speed there to stay in front of Liggins and then to get his body between the ball and the basket. Great effort from him.
Well, Liggins was unconvinced by the call, I think it's fair to say, and he's still chuntering away. Vince took him out of the game just to let him cool down a little bit because he wasn't happy with that call. There's Ross stumbling but flicking it up off the glass.
Such a difficult shot there. Kyron Ross.
Look how quick London are back down the other way. Off a made score. Ward Hibbert fouled.
Well, again, when they're not hitting threes down there, they're getting fouled in there. Getting to the free throw line, it's been a devastating offensive performance so far from this London Lions team.
Well, Jalen Hayes has come back into the game. He's on 3 fouls, but as you know, what else can Ben Thomas do? It's a 25-point game. He's got to find something to work for his team to get them back in. There's no point in saving him if you're going to be down 30, 35 at half-time.
Yeah, it's roll the dice time here for Ben Thomas. It just hasn't quite clicked for this Phoenix team, who look like a completely different outfit than they did just a few days ago.
Although, to be fair, the Lions made 11 threes in the game last week of 36. They're 11 of 16 here in 17 minutes. Carey for 3. Dirk Williams with the rebound, and they're looking to push again. No relenting from the Lions. The threes just keep flying in. More threes today than they made in the first leg.
Well, they're getting stops as well, Dan, and it's just, you know, they're pushing the ball in transition, and the Phoenix defense are just scrambling and Again, Derek Williams running to his spot, getting an open three.
Carey with a nice little jump hook in the lane.
12 points for Phoenix in this second quarter.
All deflected, so that's legal. Robinson dancing through now. Ward Hibbett wanting to join the three-point party, but he misses. Carey pushing hard, going all the way. Kyle Carey to the bucket.
It's an athletic play there in the open court. It's some defenders there to contest with, but didn't matter. Nice finish with the left.
Where? Banks it in.
Well, when things are going good, Dan, they're going good. And well, I'm not sure if that was by design, but either way, he gets it to go.
They don't draw pitches in the scorebook. Here is Ross for three.
Oh, the Phoenix would certainly take a few of those bank shots right now.
I think Ware was trying to show you can knock one down clean there just for you. Stick it to Rowe. It's Hayes, and he lays it in.
Well, if there's nothing else, this London Lions team have definitely showed us they can shoot the basketball.
Doug Williams. They're just cooling off a little bit here now. Missed two in a row. Carey. Hayes fighting for it, but it falls to Walker. Robinson. Walker now. There we go. Normal service resumed.
Well, I thought Vince was going to have to call a timeout. Two missed threes in a row. Shane Walker, as you said, Dan, resumes that very, very efficient three-point shooting percentage.
Ross from behind the arc. Well, what an incredible first half for the London Lions. They have shot the lights out. 13 made three-pointers. They have 60 points at the half, and they lead by 29. They've almost put this one away at halftime.
I'm asking myself, is this 10-minute quarters? Or are we watching 12 minutes? It's incredible just to put that amount of points as well on the board. Yeah, incredible. And just the way they shot the ball as well. And this sounds quite outlandish, but I thought they've been really good on the defensive end. And Cheshire Phoenix haven't been good on offensively. I think they struggled to get into any type of set here. But London Lions have been getting stops. But what that means is they've pushed the basketball really well, and then they've got players finding their position. Cheshire Phoenix defense is forever scrambling, and you've got guys with stepping into threes and hitting open shots, and that's how you put 60 points on the board in one half.
Well, the Lions have made more than twice as many three-pointers as they have done two-pointers, and they've done it at a better rate as well. 61% from the three-point line in the first half, and they have really blown the Knicks off the court here in the first 20 minutes. Not a lot they could do with all those points just piling up against them. We're at the break. The London Lions are, very close to the semi-finals. They lead by 60 points to 31 at the interval. Ant and I will get our breath back after all those threes in the first half. We'll be back with you in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to the University of Worcester Arena, where the London Lions have been on fire in the first half, and they lead the Cheshire Phoenix by 60 points to 31. That on top of the 7-point advantage they brought to this game from the first leg. And really, Justin Robinson set the table for them early on, didn't he? He knocked down some shots, he was aggressive getting to the basket, he really got them going.
He did, and that's what you want your leader to do. And you know, point guards have that decision to make. You know, should I look to score the ball? Or should I look to get people involved? Well, Justin Robinson did a bit of both, to be fair, and he was absolutely immaculate in that first half. And as a result, his team were flying. But as you can see here, penetration and kickouts to guys that were clearly hitting shots, and he can even take things into his own hands as well, knocking down a few threes himself. So no, really distinguished performance from him so far in this game.
And the start of the first half is London Lions 3-point shooting. They've taken twice as many threes as twos, and they've made twice as many threes as twos. They're shooting better from the 3-point line than they are from inside it. 13 first half 3-pointers is incredible.
These numbers are unfathomable and unplayable. 61% from the 3-point line, and I think the concern is they're getting good shots as well. I mean, look how much time Joey Kunwin's got there to shoot that basketball, and look, that's a tough way. It's a contested. Kevin Ware is coming off the bench, and he's hot. And Dirk Williams is a guy you cannot afford to not locate. But your stars are performing well, but you've also got 27 points from the bench, which you've got to look at yourself at the Phoenix come and think, what can we do here? How can we stop this? Because we're getting hit from all angles here. And it's a credit to London Lions. They've turned up, and so far they're balling out.
Well, they're 7 of 11 off the bench, the 3-point shooting. 7 of their 3-pointers have come from guys who didn't start the game. I mean, we know they've got a lot of shooters, and we know they shoot the ball well, but they don't normally shoot it at this sort of clip. Now, regression to the mean suggests that they might miss a few in the second half, but they've got such a massive lead, it won't even matter if they do come out and miss some in the second half.
Well, what we haven't failed to mention, because they've shot the ball so well, and they deserve to get that credit. Defensively, they've been very good. Phoenix have got nothing, and it's a combination of Phoenix just not being in the groove, and their spacing's pretty poor as well. But London Lions have been very, very resistant, especially around the rim. Everything seems to be really, really difficult and hard work for Phoenix to score the ball. Clearly, they've got a source there in Matthew Bryan-Manning who's got 15 points. But other than that, it's been a tough old slog for the Phoenix because of the London Lions' intensity on defense.
Well, he's got 15, and the rest of his team have 16. Here's Parker. And London keep it going here.
That's always a tough one, isn't it? When you score the ball, first play.
Ross into Lowell. Bryan-Manning after Lowell. He's going to try his luck from 3-point range. Bryan-Manning trying to time the poke away, but Parker was able to hang on to it. Williams in the corner. Robinson just rips it away, throws it out in front to Dirk Williams, and he thought he got fouled. The referee was happy with it.
It's just odd that he didn't dunk the ball.
Yeah. Robinson crossed to Liggins and just uses his size and length to get to the rim.
So casual. It looks like playground basketball there from Liggins. He just simple crossover and extends to the rim.
Still playing the defense that he's made his name on throughout his career, knocking that ball loose. Low. Short. trying to go to work. He's going to take the three. Can Williams keep it in? Yes, he can. Robinson from behind the arc. He knocks it down.
Wow, second chance opportunity there, and who would have guessed it? London Lions step into a three, and Justin Robinson makes that look effortlessly.
Ross getting through, and a little piece from Parker. Kicked out to Dirk Williams, and this time he lays it in.
Dirk Williams doing a good job running the floor.
Ryan and Manny going to work and getting his team's first points of the second half.
Oh, nice move. He's been the aggressor all game. Take him to 17 points personal.
Manny Hodgic hasn't knocked loose, but is able to recover. He can't keep it in bounds.
Substitution for Phoenix.
Gordon and Lafadeju to check in. Going with a small unit. And that's the problem, is Ali Hodgic is very good down in the low block. Gordon spins into a bit of trouble, gets it away, but the Lions recover the ball. Williams, beautiful to the basket.
Just gliding through, slicing through the defense. Nice soft finish from Dirk Williams.
Ross driving hard. Ali Hodgic straight up and down, says the referee. Parker down the lane for the finger roll.
Well, the issue here is the Phoenix, very little resistance now on defense from them, and London Lions are still getting stops and pushing the basketball down the other end of the floor, and Orlando Parker just has a free lane right down the middle for a layup.
Kick ball.
Jalen Hayes, good persistence from him, but he would have been very happy to hear that whistle because he had very limited options and nowhere to go, and the ball sort of stuck around Parker's lower leg.
Lafadeju for three. Rims out. Thrown out to Williams. Can he catch it? No, he can.
Well, for as good as the London Lions have been, Cheshire Phoenix now 2 for 13 from the three-point line. It's 15%.
Carey. Again, the Lions haven't eased off any on the defensive end of the floor. Liggins attacks.
That's a nice move, and as soon as he gets by that defender, he does a really good job of using his body there to shield it, so he has to create space, the lane towards the basket.
Ross driving through is able to score with a lot of line shirts around him.
Well, we almost forget how effective Karen Ross was. He's one of the leading scorers. Well, he was the leading scorer of the BBL for some weeks, and then he picked up an injury which subsequently affected his production. Still 17 points a game in the regular season. He's a exciting player, wasn't he? Formidable player, and a player as well, wasn't afraid or shy to make big shots, along with his counterpart, Mike McCall Jr.
bit of miscommunication there. Well, given we've talked about how well the bench unit have shot the ball for the Lions tonight, it doesn't mean it'll get any easier, but you do wonder at what point Vince goes, you know what, we might as well save, you know, Liggins and Robinson and Williams for another day. You know, the games, they've played a load of games in recent weeks. It's a travelling violation called there, and a couple more games at least coming next week.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. You always want to, you know, preserve the players', you know, health and prevent any unnecessary injuries when you can. But I don't know. I think at the same time, when you see it, they're playing well, Dan. I mean, you see a unit at the moment who are playing well, and you always want to, you know, continue the confidence and the flow. And the guys are still playing hard as well. I think in the back of their mind as well, they know that they're not going to be playing heavy minutes because, you know, the intensity on defense is if this is a 1-point game for the Lions right now.
I mean, the reality is they've got enough points already to have won the game now. You know, as Dirk Williams lays it in, Cheshire have scored 36 points in 26 and a half minutes. They're not going to score 44 points without reply in the last 13. So, I mean, Vince is obviously happy to leave them out there, but it's just that thing of, you know, you've done the job you set out to do.
I don't know.
It's easy for me to sat here to say that. I accept that. Carey.
You still use these games though to get better, and you say, oh, well, how can 5 or 7 minutes make you better? But there's so many variables there, intangible variables that you don't see as the team chemistry element, the confidence of each individual player as well, and you want your unit, you know, firing and playing together. That's why you practice, you know, every day. But there's nothing quite like doing it in the center stage here. And look, this is a subliminal message maybe to everyone else. I mean, this is a London Lions team. We thought we'd see scorelines like this week in, week out in the regular season. We haven't, because, well, the BBL is a tough league, but, you know, this hasn't always been the free flowing or you know, I don't know, the team chemistry we've seen from this London Lions team.
I don't think it's very subliminal. I think it's pretty much out in your face right now.
Well, some would say a win's a win, but yeah, this is a substantial win, and yeah, you're right, Dan, maybe there's not quite anything hidden here with this message. Vince McCauley usually discreet, like his fashion sense, though. He's more discreet today, so I thought
yeah. You know, he saves the real coats and jackets and waistcoats and whatever for the finals, and he'll be hoping he's got one more final in him this season. Certainly, as you say, on the evidence of the last 27 minutes of play, they're going to take some stopping.
Little things like this are good for players, I feel like Pharaoh Ala-Hodgetts. I think that 5 spot has been up in the air all year. You know, who is the go-to fireman, but I think Pharaoh Ala-Hodgetts is the guy that's earned the right here to start in that role. And you've got Okoro, who just came from being the 5th option to you know, playing significant minutes as well. So I do see value in guys like that playing and again growing in confidence and being more comfortable in this structure.
Where Williams, Liggins for 3 on the shot clock buzzer.
A part of me just wants to sit back and just watch and appreciate the sharing of the basketball, but also the phenomenal shooting.
Rolls Tyson off the mark. Offensive foul call.
Dan, I'll be use full disclosure here. I sat there parts of the game feeling sorry for Bristol Flyers. I feel no sympathy for Bristol Flyers whatsoever now. And, you know, compared to this onslaught that the Phoenix are experiencing from the London Lions. This is a difficult position to be in.
Well, I think they'd take a running clock in the fourth quarter if they could, Cheshire. Brian Manning off the mark. Farrah Gordon trying to keep it alive. Rebound for the Knicks.
24-5 in this third quarter so far.
Foul called.
So Rose Tyson creating for himself. They're trying to make something happen. Good spin away from the defender. Farrah Hodges came over to help, but perhaps was moving into the offensive player there.
Well, the Lions have only ever won 5 games by 50 points or more. They're not far off 50 right now.
Are we setting any records here for biggest win in a playoff game?
You're setting me a task there, aren't you? We're directing traffic over to Dangakodo. Where now for 3. Coro with the rebound, back out to Dangakodo. His shot is off the mark. Where with the save, but only to the Knicks. Rolls Tyson, tipped in by Carey.
Good follow from Cole Carey, who for me has been a bright spark. This Phoenix outfit throughout this quarter-final series.
Here's Dirk Williams, corner 3. Coro gets them the final shot here of this third quarter. Dangakodo out to Kevin Ware, loses the handle and doesn't quite get it off in time. It goes in, of course it does. Everything's gone in. Well, when did you retire, Ro? Just remind me.
2016.
2016. And you don't know what the record win in a playoff game is, no?
It's against Cheshire as well.
It was.
Ah, yes.
Mike McCall for 3 off the mark. Wow. London Lions rampant here and threatening to kick Ant Rowe and his teammates out of the record books for the biggest playoff win in history, which was 44 points. The Leicester Riders beat the Cheshire Phoenix at the Cheshire Oaks in April 2006, 99-55. So that's obviously the same margin as it is now. There's only ever been 2 40-point playoff wins. The other one was the Newcastle Eagles in 2015, beating the Sheffield Sharks 118-78.
Wow. Well, what I want to know is whenever we're watching a game and that those questions come up, record breaking, you then produce some sort of statistics, and where's your backup is the question I want to ask. I mean, on Twitter you'll pop up and you'll give the commentators that the ingredients or the information that they need. I mean, where's your backup, Dan?
I don't know. Is it not you? I'd like to think that you'd remember a game you played in, though.
Yeah, I knew it was a big win. I just didn't think it was 44 points. I remember it very well because the Cheshire Oaks was a new facility at the time. Yeah, it was. So it still smelled like brand new paint in there, and I remember going up there, and
that was a first leg game. The Knicks were much better in the second leg, but the time was already decided by then.
We were worried. Well, sorry, Pat and Ostra were worried going into that game. We had a few injuries. And I know I had to play extended minutes in that game, and that was my last season. So you knew we must have had a couple injuries there on the list. If you got the injured guy to cover for the injured players. But I remember there was a sense of that week leading up to that game. There was quite high pressure and stress among our camp, and luckily we were able to display a positive performance on court.
If it's any consolation to you, I commentated on that game and I hadn't remembered until I looked it up. So I was in the building as well. Here's Brian Manning with a little step back, and Dirk Williams watches it go out of bounds for a London possession.
It's a lot easier to forget a blowout game, Dan, than a shot on the buzzer win.
Yeah, true. Dangakodo has it. Scoops it round to Dirk Williams for three.
Wow, Dirk Williams just... Now I've got a hidden invested interest now with Phoenix closing the gap. So extends it to 47.
Our old Tyson takes it back to 44.
Sol Rolls Tyson, a guy who's had a very difficult season. He's really struggled with injury, and they thought he was going to be out for the whole season, but he found a way to not only regain health but squeeze himself some playing time in the rotation.
Williams again, not quite. Carey. A little high, but Gordon's able to hang on to it. Good challenge, leaves the shot short.
So tough there, because Gordon does a really good job of separating between him and the defender using his body, but Dirk Williams is just so long. He's able to contest that shot and make things difficult for Farrell Gordon.
Ross. 8 minutes to play in the season for Cheshire Phoenix. London will move on. Nice shot on the buzzer.
Wow, it's a really difficult shot there, and Kyron Ross, a high caliber player who's showed us his skill set all season long.
Where the three off the mark. Tipped away, it'll be a Cheshire ball. Here's another look at this one. Step back, falling it away from the basket towards the baseline. Lob to low. Good footwork.
Really good footwork, and the use of the body there is really important. He initiated contact with Coral there, but he's kind of pushed him away from the rim to be able to create that separation between him and the defender, where he's got the shot where he's not going to get blocked.
Ware finds the gap in the middle of the zone and takes the shot. Hayes. Well, ball away, tipped in by Jalen Hayes. No, he's missed one. First one he's missed in the game, Joe Kinwick. Carey for three. I feel like the intensity has died down here in the fourth, hasn't it? Both teams know the end is nigh in this one. So Dangakodo diving to get in the passing lane. Kimwin. Coro with the rebound.
The area rebound hits by Ross.
Ryan Manning. This is a foul.
Phoenix played with this big lineup for a good majority of the game here, and you can't help but question the potential fitness here of Mike McCoy Jr., who's only played 12 minutes and shot 0 for 3 and 0 points, and he's been such a big part of the Phoenix and what they've, the good things that they've done this year. So maybe he had picked up something in the first game and couldn't quite shake it off.
Okay, one shot, one shot.
Both of the line. Everywhere the ball is passed for the line.
Kimwin hands over to Ware. 5 to play here in the ball game. Kevin Ware getting all the way to the basket. Okoro keeping it alive. Spencer to the floater. Tipped out again by Okoro. Kimwin for 3. Oh, they're under 50% now from the three-point line. Ryan Manning getting a little piece of that. Deju misses the shot. Ross with the rebound. He's driving through and just narrowing the gap a little more.
Well, just good activity from Phoenix, and they're gonna, that's at this point, that's what you're doing, isn't it? You're playing for pride, and you just appreciate that you can play basketball. And like you said, Dan, with the way the BBL teams are designed and the contracts are designed, you'll see a lot of year-to-year contracts. So you don't often get units back that are the same. So I think it's just that appreciation for each other and enjoy what's left of this season.
For Deju. Ryan Manning blocked by Okoro. Spencer. And Ross went for the challenge. Foul is called. 2 shots.
That's a good above the rim contest there. Spencer and Ross. Challenge there from Ross, but a good call from the referee.
Matthew Bryan Manning walks off the court. I wonder with 3:24 to go whether that might be the last of his action today. He was the one guy in the first half who was able to score for the Cheshire Phoenix. He had half of their points at half-time, and in all likelihood will finish their top scorer with 17, even if he doesn't come back on. Rolls Tyson. Hayes for 3, knocks it down.
Oh, it's good to see Jalen Hayes knocking one down, and looked like he enjoyed it. Almost cracked a smile there.
Only the second Cheshire player into double figures, though, has been their problem. They've neither stopped London from scoring nor scored enough to get even vaguely close to them. Hayes with the quarterback outlet, picked off by Shane Walker.
It's an ambitious pass there from Jalen Hayes, and Jimbo Lowe tried his best to recover or at least intercept the eminent turnover, but Shane Walker says thank you very much.
Shane also looking for an unsportsmanlike, and there would have been a touchdown. Nice alley-oop and a Coro with the jam.
Nice looking play there between Spencer and Okoro linking up.
Hayes off the ball. London still looking to run. Of course, with the depth they have, as Ross knocks it away, with the depth they have, they've always got somebody fresh.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it, with this London Lions team? The thing is that you've not only got fresh bench players coming on, you've got confident fresh bench players because they've had such a good first half.
Inside the final 2 minutes we go. Lions getting ready for the semi-finals next week. We'll find out tomorrow who they're going to play, but whoever it is will be watching this game tape back with a little dread, won't they?
I think so, especially that first half, Dan. It was an absolute clinic at both ends of the floor. I thought they were very, very good, and you know, unity as well as a team. It wasn't one of those displays too where you had one guy that had 20 points, and you know, it was quite evenly distributed, and you know, guys hitting shots and making plays, and you know, more importantly, sharing the basketball. But defensively as well, they just looked aggressive, didn't they? And they looked in tune, and yeah, very, very telling performance from the Lions.
Oh, I think Okoro must have a cut lip because he's walking off court.
Substitution for the Lions at 22.
Kevin Ware, I don't think was expecting to come back into the game. Just making himself presentable. If that was me, I'd have undone the laces and go, I ain't got my boots on, coach. Somebody else will have to go in. That's probably why I never made it to a professional basketball player.
Well, you can increase your stats during this time here.
Yeah. It's Ward Hibbert increasing his stats, +1 steal and +2 points. Well, Kyron Ross will leave the fray for the last time this season. He's got 9.7 rebounds, 7 assists. He's had a tremendous season, as you said, but not ended how he would have liked.
Really unfortunate he picked up that injury at the Morningside Arena. The foot condition, I believe, but he was absolutely flying all year, and so exciting to watch as well. You know, I'll always remember that this backcourt here, McCall and Ross, just kind of hope that they have another season together.
Well, you knew that if it got late in a game and they had a chance, boy, did they have a chance. Shot clock not come on. That's one of them where the referee just don't see it. Doesn't matter.
Damn, the referee's got to
They've
put
got
the shift to the
follow
final
rules,
whistle too.
Yeah. That's why I never made it to a referee either.
That's why you've been a commentator for 2 decades. So he's not gonna, doesn't want to come on and play trash minutes. He doesn't want to ref.
Yeah. I just want to sit here and tell everybody else out there. Here's Ward Hibbert. To the turnaround, the Nowitzki, a little bit short. Rolls Tyson with what is probably the final points of the game. Well, your record's intact still, 35 points, but a very dominant display by the London Lions here.
Oh, it was huge, and they actually tailed off quite significantly in the fourth quarter. London Lions just scoring 11 points in the fourth quarter, but they were on track at halftime for 120 point performance here, and the shooting was very rarely do we ever see that. It's like video game numbers.
Yeah,
it's
it was
incredible. It's 61% from the three, 60% field goal, and it was 90% from the free throw line at half time. So you've got to feel sorry. I feel sorry for Phoenix, because you kind of look at yourself and think, what can we do with this? It was just a really good performance from the London Lions, and an under par performance from the Phoenix, and that's how you get a scoreline as big as this.
Well, Vince McCauley and his London Lions will advance to the semi-finals, and they will do so in impressive style, winning by 35 on the night, by 42 on aggregate, and doing so coasting in as well. That's the other thing. It was one of those ties where, with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of the first leg, you thought, ooh, Cheshire have a shot here, and well, any shot they had evaporated in the last minute of that first leg, and then the first 2 minutes of this game where they scored the first 7 points, and Ben Thomas was into a timeout to try and change things already.
That's a really interesting dissection there of the two games, because you're right. You could look at that 1 minute, 2 minute segment there of end of game one, and then you look at the start of the 6, 7, 8 minutes there, and that's it, isn't it? It's taking your heart and your head out of the game, and then that's where when you've got guys that are hitting shots, it's really hard to defend guys when they're in their groove and the confidence is high, and that was it really. This London team just had too much for them, and they couldn't catch it, and that was all she wrote.
Certainly was. Let's talk to one of the guys who was making those shots. Dirk Williams is courtside with us, and Dirk, that first half, the way you guys shot the ball was incredible from the three-point line.
We just wanted to come out with some fire and, prove that we could shoot a little bit better. I think, we had a little bit of times of lapses and we weren't making shots in the last game. So, that was one big thing that we wanted to prove, that we could shoot a little bit better this game.
And you had that 4-point play from Parker and the three-pointer on the buzzer from you last game that made it a 7-point, and then you just came out and took it away from them in the first few minutes of this game.
It was about trying to knock their confidence out early. I think that's what we did. We just tried to, put some pressure on them early and stuff like that, knock them out their rhythm, and I think that's what we did throughout the game. It made it an easier game for us down the stretch. And
the important thing about the playoffs is to be peaking at the right time. You guys certainly look like you're peaking at the right time.
It's definitely a good time to, for us for our chemistry to be built. We've had a 12-game win streak, so we just want to keep it going, keep this chemistry going and keep the run going.
And we don't know who you're going to play yet, but in the form that you're in, you'll take anybody on.
We just want to play whoever we got to play next and get to the championship.
Well, good luck next week. We'll see you in Leicester.
Thank you.
Well, he's been, phenomenal all season long. He maybe had a couple of weeks in the middle where the three ball wasn't going in, but at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, he's been shooting the ball tremendously well.
He has, and I remember him in Sheffield Sharks, and he was always a very good player, athletic, great to watch, but he, for me now, is a legitimate game winner, and for me, he is an MVP candidate, not just because he averages really good numbers, but because he is a guy that comes up with big plays, and there's no coincidence that Dirk Williams is in the headlines because he's hit a big shot here or made a big play here. He's done this throughout the whole year, and he's been the key difference in this fixture.
Well, let's hear from the London Lions coach, Vince McCauley. Vince, we all know you guys shoot the three ball really well, but that first half was something else.
Yeah, we feel like we can keep getting better at it. It's something that we do on a daily basis. We think we can get better at it. We just need the right opportunities to do that. It was sensational in the first half, and hopefully we can carry on that kind of form throughout the next X amount of games.
And good to see you. Obviously had that great finish to the first leg to give you a bit of a cushion, but you actually knocked them out pretty quick here in this game. Really went at them right from the off.
We didn't play very well in the first game. 17 turnovers that led to easy buckets, especially for those very, very quick guards. And I thought the Cheshire Phoenix guys, came trying to go against us. I just think in the end it was just too much firepower. But it's just trying to put it all together in 5-10 quarter-minute sections.
Well, we talked about your club record winning streak. That carries on. One of the biggest wins in playoff history as well. You guys are really hitting form at the right time.
You know, we're an emotional kind of team. I don't know where that comes from. You know, I mean, you know, Liggins and I, be like father and son or husband and wife fighting and wrestling on the floor, but at the end of the day, everybody cares here. And we just want to do the best for our club and be the best London Lions that we can be.
And now you've got the target of 3 more wins to finish the season off.
Now, that would be good, and you said that, not me.
Well, good luck next week. We'll see you down in Leicester.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, he's always been a phenomenal character around the British Basketball League, and he always tells it as it is. He's always got his heart on his sleeve. You know exactly what Vince is thinking, and he's got to be delighted with the way his team is performing right now.
I think so, and you can just tell by that. I think the smile on his face as he leaves the court, and I think what he does possess is that he is a fantastic manager and leader of men. I want to say, because this London Lions roster is loaded, as we already know. But with that loadedness then comes egos, own agendas, etc. And he's done a good job of keeping this group together. Where periods of the season we thought it was going to implode, we've seen it, on social media, on the court. They've had frailties throughout the year, but yeah, he's sitting here with 1 trophy and a very good start to this playoff basketball, so things are looking optimistic for the Lions at present.
Well, it certainly has. I mean, if they shoot the 3-point shot the way they did in that first half, I don't know that anybody can live with them shooting making as many and knocking them down at the clip that they did. Let's get some reaction from the Phoenix side. And Ben, that first half, the threes flying in all over the place. It was tough just to get anywhere near them in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like our defense let them have some open threes, but they're taking contested threes over a 7-footer, 6'7" guy, hands in the face, and they're making it. Like you say, there's not much the opposition teams can do when that's happening.
And it's almost hard to ask. You think there was anything more you could do when you see the opponents doing that? But how do you reflect on your performance?
Today, obviously, we weren't good enough. But you look over the other side of the floor, and they've got such a deep team. They've got a bench that could probably be starters in most teams in this league. So we've got to be realistic about it. We're not at that level. I thought that we had a great performance on Monday. Just a shame that this is how we finished our season. But it's been a great season. There's been a lot of things going on in the world, and we've been lucky enough to stay here playing. And I'm proud of the guys getting us into the playoffs and the way we've competed all season, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna come to that. How I know it's pretty hard in the couple of minutes after the game is finished, but how you reflect on the season. As you say, playoffs is always the target. You got there, and okay, you've met a really good team in the playoffs, but you've got to be proud of the way you guys have competed all across the season.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe one of the competitions we got taken away from us because of COVID early on, so that was a little bit disappointing. Losing to Glasgow in the semi-final of in the quarter-final of the trophy, that was disappointing. But yeah, the playoffs was our main aim at the start of the season. We knew it was going to be tough with some of the money that's getting spent in the league. I think everyone knows that budgets are, in a couple of teams especially, are crazily high. But no, we done a good job. We brought some good guys in. We stuck together. We battled it out. We had a great March into April, and it's basketball. There's a game of runs. We had a good run in the season, picking up some big wins, and like I say, I'm proud of the guys for getting us here. I'm just disappointed that we go out like this.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Ben. Congratulations on what has been a good season. I know it's a disappointing finish to it, though.
Thanks, Dan. Cheers.
Well, it's always tough when you talk to a guy right after he's lost a game by 35, but he will reflect in the next few days, I'm sure, about what has been a good season for the Knicks on the court.
I think so, and Cheshire Phoenix are one of those teams I looked forward to watching. They were exciting, they were quick, and yes, they've had some ups and downs throughout the season, but there was a period there where this team looked really good, really good, and they were beating teams, and even me as what are we, pundits, critics, etc. I looked at, that was a fluke. They won't do that again, and they'd pop up again with another big win, and it was only you know, factors that, again, Kyron Ross, you got your leading scorer. When he goes out, there were certain injuries that they had, which I think just added to the struggles that they had. But no, it was a good team, and I think the Phoenix fan base will be really happy with with their club's performance this year.
Well, 2 of the semi-finalists are now known. The top 2 are through. Leicester and London have booked their spot in the Final Four. But who will be joining them? We'll have to find out tomorrow. It's a 2-point game between Newcastle Eagles and Sheffield Sharks. That one finally poised. It's going to tip off at 5 o'clock. We'll be on air just before that. It promises to be a thrilling contest, and so too does this one, as the Plymouth Raiders and the Worcester Wolves go head-to-head, and that was a fantastic battle last night in the first leg, and both those games set up very nicely for tomorrow.
I'm really excited for tomorrow. You know, there's very, very little in terms of points differential, but I think very little in terms of performance as well. You've seen two of those fixtures, and you could have played another 40 minutes that day, and really there would be very little separation. But particularly the Plymouth and the Wolves matchup there, some very, very intense, choppy rivalries developing there.
Well, we will have it all for you tomorrow. Ant and I will be back. But for now, have a good evening. Goodbye.
Gotta keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't none left. Going till there ain't none. Keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't none left. Going till there ain't none. Keep the flame on max. Going till there ain't none. Keep the flame on max.